다시 델레 드린 꾸든 소원이 총미 봄람바 시술 공을 롭상 상게 촉 임베 칠 콩라 모드기 그걸 매경 괴배왕기 도르점 슈나 콩니 젠체 페미 덴체 롭다네 롭다르 친데 아리 하버드 두글라 로컨 체모네 봄람베 차케셰 탁바르 공사 촉이 우옥 퐁데기 젠체 페미 딕수키 시공 탱니 낭 단다 하버드 두글라 로컨 투 팀루키 개겐 체모 낭 심바인
We're honored to welcome a very special guest today, Dr. Lobsang Sangila. He's a proud graduate of Tibetan Refugee School, a two-term Sikyong of the Central Tibetan Administration, and holds a PhD from Harvard University. He now serves as a lecturer at Harvard Law School. Please join me in giving a round warm of applause for Dr. Lobsang Sangila.
Good morning. Should I speak in English or in mixed or in Tibetan? Both? 깨쳐라죠. 라. 나대 깨쳐부 쉬우시 거기도. So, good news is BTS is coming back. Now, I believe Lisa and her gang are also coming back. Rawa? Is that good news? Yeah. What happens to Taylor Swift then? Ah, Swifties. How many Swifties? I can see many pink wonjus here. Yeah. I can see the kansa doing kansa the golshe lagar. Those wearing pink wonju, I always think they're Swifties. Where? Okay, show your loyalty, huh? BTS? Huh? Or Taylor Swift? Oh, Taylor Swift kaji duda. Oh my goodness, yeah. So that's the good news. And what else? I think most of you are BTS fan, right? Where? She's good, good, good. My point is, we came all the way from Tibet to India to Canada, and we are getting westernized, Americans and Canadian culture. But ultimately, what we'll end up being a fan of Asian pop artists. Yes or no? And then ultimately, we'll end up start liking what? Korean food. Actually, I'm planning to go to Koreatown tomorrow night, most likely. Because if I go tonight, if I overdrink soju, I might get a little bit of hangover. So tomorrow, as the chief guest of His Holiness 90th birthday celebration, I can't come here little, groggy. Right? So I said, no, tomorrow evening. So I'll celebrate in a big way in Koreatown with everything. And so how many of you have watched this documentary before? Very good. So what this shows is actually, it's very clear. What the Chinese government is trying to do is get into the mindset of young Tibetan children in Tibet and make them Chinese and also communist. Meaning they want you to like about Chinese and China. But also by being communist, they want you to hate Tibetan. Your Tibetan tradition, Tibetan culture, Tibetan identity. So that's why, Dr. One of the experts say that when they spend few months in these boarding schools, children, when they come back, first thing what they say, they say, oh, they stop talking to their grandparents. First, they can't communicate, and they start saying, grandparents, your thinking is too old, too backward, too feudal. If I be like you, then I won't be successful in my life. So they are trying to cut you from your roots. So we are very close to our grandparents. But you can't cut your children from parents because you are dependent on your parents. Their strategy is very sinister. They want to cut you from your grandparents first. Project your grandparents as backward, as stupid. They don't know about modernism. They don't know about technology. And once you do that, then their battle plan, the 50% is done. And then they will try to make you, now they have made you like Chinese, okay? Now they want to make you communist. Then they will make you hate your tradition, your custom. So that's their plan. And they say this is the final solution or the final plan. Because if you look at the map of the world, first I'll tell you all sad stories, okay? Then we'll come about positive stories as well. If you Google, if you just say, type Tibet, it's non-existent. Right? Can you find Tibet in the map of the world? You don't. For 70 years, the Chinese government made efforts, pressured so many people, including publishing companies, governments, to remove Tibet from the map of the world. So they have succeeded that. Now they are pressuring many countries to change Tibet to Xizang. You know? Oh, you don't know this? Yes, now they're telling governments and countries, you can't say Tibet, Tibet. You must say Tibet is Xizang. So once Tibet, the term, disappears also from the dictionary, from the official languages of different governments, who do we become? If you say, I'm Tibetan, they say, Tibet is not even in the map. And they will say, but there is Tibet. No, there is no Tibet now. Recently, how many of you are from Nepal? Parents are from Nepal. So if you read Nepali newspapers nowadays, or listen to Nepali news media, they don't use the term Tibet. They say Xizang. So they want to remove Tibet, that word Tibet, from the language of the world and make them call you Xizang. Then who do you become? If I say I'm Tibetan, no. If you are from Xizang, means you are Zhangren. You're Zhang. Or Xizangren. See, that's their strategy. Now, with this pressure, now there's a case going on in France, right? 2 museums, they change the term Tibet to Xizang. And Tibetans in France protested, again, mainly led by youth. Thousands of Tibetans came out and protested against this museum. For every Wednesday, every weekend, for so long, and one museum agreed to change the word from Xizang back to Tibet. So this is a youth-led movement, okay? They succeeded. The other museum has changed the word Xizang to Himalayan. Now there's a court case now being filed by Tibetan youth. So, I was just talking to a group of youth. We all go through this, right? Who am I? Am I a Tibetan? Am I Canadian? Or am I Indian? Because I like idli, I like dosa, I like samosa, right? And of course, I like momo thukpa, And then, of course, I'm in Toronto, so I went to Tim Horton and paid my homage to Canadian coffee. Who am I? And I was just telling, you are third generation, your mindset is a bit complex. But for me, it's very clear. When I applied to Harvard Law School, okay, this is a long, winding story. The first time when I applied to 9 law schools in America, all rejected me. But I didn't give up hope. Next year, I applied again. Out of 9, 8 accepted me. Why? Because I changed what you call statement of purpose, your story. At the final passage or the paragraph, I wrote saying that, I'm a Tibetan and I want to be a freedom fighter because when I die, I don't want to die with regrets, thinking that I could have done this or done that for Tibet. So that's why I want a freedom fighter. Now, if Harvard Law School admits me, then I will be a better freedom fighter because I'll get the education, I'll get the exposure and all that. But my final line was, with or without Harvard, I know I will die without regrets. Meaning, I said, I will become freedom fighter, even if Harvard Law School doesn't give me admission. Now, the dean of admission, she met with me and she said, oh, when I read that line, I got goosebumps because you're rejecting Harvard. You're saying, admit me. If you don't admit me, it's okay. I know what I want to do. I want to be a freedom fighter. That line got me admitted to 8 of the 9 law schools in second year, when all 9 schools rejected me in first year. So my point is, when I get up, I think I'm a Tibetan. And I know when I sleep, I know I think like a Tibetan. And I will die as a Tibetan. So I have this, clarity in mind. That first I'm a Tibetan, then second I'm Indian, now I'm American. So you also, again, this is my, appeal to you, okay? You should think you are a Tibetan first. And then you are Canadian second. My advice is always, integrate, but don't assimilate. What the Chinese government is trying to do is assimilate you, make you completely into Chinese, and forget everything about Tibet. So you should take advantage of Canadian system. You should be grateful to Canadians. You have friends, you hang out, you do all that. But you should always think, I am a Tibetan first. You are a Canadian citizen, for sure. Legally, you are Canadian. But emotionally, your character, your values, your identity, first should be Tibetan. That will help you. And then also to the group I was saying, why I say I'll die as a Tibetan, and proudly, because I've served as, the Sikyong of Tibetan government exile for 10 years. And I have done research. Now I'm writing a book on democracy in exile, comparative government exiles historically, now, and there are 60 exile communities, much bigger than us. There are 6 or 7 million Venezuelans in exile, 1 or 2 million Nicaraguans, more than a million Afghans, Belarusians, Uyghurs, of course Hong Kongers. And now I'm an advisor or consultant to many of them. In fact, a group, some of the leaders of Hazara Afghans are coming to meet with me. Today, maybe, I'll meet them tomorrow, most likely. They also have Hazara World Council. It's their own kind of a government exile type. And the president is here in Toronto. And they all want to learn from us. Why? Because among the 60 exile communities, even though some of them are millions, we are the best and the most successful exile community in the whole world. Our government exile performs better than many of the governments of independent countries. This is a fact. Now, even in Toronto, how many exile communities are there? Several, if not many. And how many communities have a chigang like this? Many of them come and rent this place. Even though we are a very new community, we are very enterprising, we are very hardworking, we are very successful. So that's why we all should be very proud that I am a Tibetan, even though politically we lost our country because Chinese, illegally, by sheer force and by sheer number, we lost our country. Otherwise, we had, I'm sure you watched the movie, Chuchigon movie, right? We are very brave Tibetans who fought, took up arms and fought and died. If our number was bigger, or if the Chinese number was smaller, we could have given them good fight like the Ukrainians are doing against Russians. Definitely. It's just that number-wise, they brought 200,000, battle-hardened PLA soldiers to Tibet. And we barely had 2,000, official army of Tibet. An additional maybe 20,000 militia altogether. 200,000 and 20,000, just by number, there is no competition. Otherwise, even if it was, 100,000, 200,000, we could have given them quite a tough fight. Tibetans are that brave. So even though we lost our country, really, I have met all these exile communities, the Venezuelan leaders, Nicaraguan leaders, I'm a consultant. They all are asking me, give me advice. How can we establish a successful government exile like yours? So, again, if you look at the, as I said in the small group also, our literacy rate is 96%. India's literacy rate is 82%. You know, our Pishungloptas in schools are funded by the government of India. But our result is better than India's. Our result is better than Bangladesh or Nepal. Even though it's a refugee community, we have outperformed everybody. And we're also very hardworking. We're very enterprising. And politically, we are such a high profile. When we say we have only 200,000 Tibetans in exile, people don't believe. Because our profile is so high. They say we are like 7 million Venezuelans and 2 million this and 1 million this. How come we have such high profile? Even the Taiwanese now, because of potential war, our profile was higher than Taiwanese. Okay? So my point is, Chinese government in Tibet, they're trying to make Tibetan into Chinese. And we should be determined to think that I am a Tibetan and I'll defeat their policy and their strategy by becoming more Tibetan. Now I will end, I don't want to, we will have more Q&A, okay, that will be more fun. I'll end by saying another successful story we have is the Lhakar. And obviously, Toronto Lhakar is watched by everybody. Set the trend, I must admit. Right? And, we have an elderly mom, and obviously, you have turned on YouTube, and first thing she does is either watch, His Holiness teaching or Gorshe. And it starts from Toronto to Dharamsala. And recently I found, even in Ladakh, obviously Paris, the Samal Yorba, Ladakh also, Rabangla Shija. Rabangla Shija is such a small Shija, but more than 100 people were dancing with Lhakar. Again, this movement is so beautiful. The Lhakar. From Lhasa to Chengdu to Toronto to New York, everywhere. This is a youth-led movement. It's your movement. This is an assertion of your identity, of your culture. This is a huge punch, heavyweight punch to Beijing effort. You see, you want to assimilate Tibetans into Chinese. You want Tibetans in Tibet to forget your identity and culture. We will dance our way, sing our way, wear beautiful chuba and wonju, and point a finger at you and say, you will not succeed. We, the younger generation, will stand on our feet and make beautiful feet movements. Such a beautiful assertion. This is a youth-led, bottom-up revolution. We all should celebrate and consider this a success. So you are already doing a major contribution towards the Tibetan cause. And in Paris, I was told that, again, when I was Sikyong from 2011, 2021, first 1 or 2 years, I had to go to, communities. So all the uncles and like us and aunties, they used to come and dance, perform, because we all were taught in Pishunglapta. Then our third, fourth, fifth year, I could see young kids, also dancing on stage. I had to, watch performance. And I liked that. But then those days, parents used to complain. Their request to me was, please tell our kids to go to Sunday school, to learn Tibetan language and Tibetan song and dance. And I used to always say, younger generation, go to Sunday school, okay? You are good, you are a good child. Listen to your parents. Nowadays, the complaint is reverse. Children are dragging their parents to Sunday school. Oh, I have to go to Sunday school. I have to go learn this dance and sing on, Lhakar. Right? And I think maybe it's a mom in Toronto. Oh my God, it's too expensive. Every month I have to buy chuba and wonju for my daughter and son, It's so expensive. Nowadays even in Majduga Tila, they charge 45,000 for a pair of chuba and all this, sets. That's like, 600-700 Canadian dollars. Every month I can't afford that. Yeah. Parents are complaining, I believe. And I told in Paris, I said, hey, moms, and dads also. Moms, one Chanel bag can get you 100 chubas. So it's better to invest in 100 chubas than one Chanel bag, no? Or Gucci bag. Moms are hiding their faces. Oh my God, I think he saw my Chanel bag, yeah. And then, there's a fun, yeah. So there's also competition, huh? So those who have the most expensive bag, I believe they put it on the table, even though there's no space, okay? Those who have less expensive bags, Chanel or Gucci, they put it in the front because they want everybody to see. And then one here and one at the back. Those who hide under the table is the cheapest one. So I tell all the moms, buy more chuba for your kids. It's part of the revolution. It's assertion of your identity and culture and values. And you all look beautiful, huh? My goodness. Toronto is so much in demand, Rawa. But I must say, there's tough competition coming. Huh? Even from Ladakh, I saw the dancing movements. It's coming. But then all this collectively is a message to Beijing. You can try all you want, but in exile, we, the younger generation, will dance our way to the freedom of Tibetans. Now, you might wonder, how can we dance our way to freedom of Tibet and Tibetans? South Africa, if you watch the South African movement, they love to dance and sing. Even the civil rights movement in America, every Sunday, in their best dress, they sing their way when they were marching. So singing and dancing is also part of the movement. So you tell your parents, okay, when they say, no, we work so hard, you say, I'm also working so hard. But dancing every Hakar as part of the movement, I'm also contributing. So you all are contributing, and through this contribution, and we all can, lead our way towards freedom and justice in Tibet. So with that, I'll end my note. And then I like good questions, okay? So throw at me the toughest, most complex questions, because I teach at Harvard Law School to law school graduate students. And I do get tough questions. And I like tough questions. So with that, thank you very much for organizing. And I want to thank the president and of association and Hama Tokshung, everybody, for the opportunity.